Hello, my spooky friends.
My name is Cassie,
And I'm Caitlin.
and welcome in to I'd Survive.
I felt like I was laughing through the whole
Me too. I felt like I said my name weird. I was like, my name is Cassie.
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 I think you said it fine.
That should be good enough.
You would think this is like the drunk episode.
Oh my God. Imagine if we ever do that. Imagine what those will be like.
I can't wait because it's going to happen. Anyway, hey Cassie, what's up, girly? Welcome to another episode of I'd Survive.
Hey, it's been crazy for like I'd Survive lately. So I'm so excited to just keep it moving. We're picking banger movies, whether they're
Heck
popular
yeah.
or not. Like it's just been perfect. I actually finally got a little bit ahead in my schedule and I watched a new movie for my next episode.
Yay!
Not New Year near fuck. I'm not drunk.
Are we sure
really
about
not.
that?
New to me, not new to the world, this movie.
Mhm.
After your Slumber Party Massacre episode, I was just so inspired by the 80s vibes.
Yes.
So, like that one week where I watched 3 different movies to try to find a 70s movie that I wanted, I was like, okay, I want an 80s movie. I'm going to be watching however many I need to, and I'm going to pick a perfect, fun 80s horror.
Heck yeah.
And it was the first one that I watched.
Woo!
So it's a very 80s. So I'm excited about that. Today's episode is an 80s, right?
No.
Okay, where are we this episode?
Wait, what year did
Like
this movie come
decade.
out?
Yeah.
Cassie,
What?
do you not know?
No. I don't know what's going on. Wait,
We're covering Hard Eyes, which came out like last month.
Wait, today we're covering our
What did you think was happening?
I'm so sober.
I really don't think you are, which is the crazy part.
I didn't know that we were covering Hard Eyes today. This is news to me.
No, it is not, because I texted you
God.
about it like 2 days ago.
No, you know why? It's because I was thinking about the other one. You've texted me about like Caitlin is more ahead than me. Caitlin's 2 movies ahead.
I actually am ahead. Let's go.
Yeah. So I was thinking of the other one where you sent me a certain text and it freaked me out.
Oh yes, that one. We'll talk about that during that episode.
I'm fine. I need to calm down. Okay. So we're in this year.
We are in this year. We are in the fresh year of 2025 today.
Oh man. Amazing. I'm really excited about this one. My brain is rewired. I'm here. I'm ready. I'm present. I swear.
And she's also a little high. So it's fine.
Listen, I had to work my corporate job today. This is what my brain is like after my stupid 9 to 5.
Wait, no, it sounded like you were about to do one of those TikToks where it's like, this is me after 1 shot. This is me after 2 shots.
Oh my God, the TikTok though is me after 1 hour of my corporate job after 2 hours. Just keep watching me disintegrate into nothing. Oh man, this is why we usually record on days that I don't work. Yeah, I'm starting to realize why I do that now.
Yeah, we usually do Monday morning. It is Thursday evening. So like she's dead at this point, everybody.
It's fine. Hopefully I won't be dead by the end of this movie. I'm trying to really bring it back to the movie. I'm trying to be focused.
We just, before we hit record today, we were talking about how off track we get and how we just have the most off topic conversations when we're trying to get work done. And here is Exhibit A, everybody.
Like, I actually feel bad that you have to edit whatever just happened in the last, 10 minutes. Apologies.
No, it's going to be great. Listen, I think the people like the beginning of the episodes, do they? I don't know. I don't know.
Tell us if you don't want us to talk to you at all. Just straight to the movie.
Yeah, just let us know if we're freaking annoying. That's cool.
And if the answer is yes, don't tell me.
Yeah. Pretty much. Please don't.
Actually, never mind.
I am fragile. Thank you very much. All right. So today, everybody, we are covering a brand new movie. I think this is the newest movie that we're covering because I think is it newer than Companion? I think it is.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. That is so funny. I don't know why she found that funny, but she did. We are on something today, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, I'm reeling it in
Buckle
now.
up. Buckle up.
I just feel like I answered that like so abruptly and just stopped talking too fast.
Yep. Period.
Yes. It's funny every time. Okay, I'm gonna stop that now. Or I'm gonna try. I'm crying.
Oh my god, this episode's going so well so far.
No, I'm gonna once we get it. I'm gonna lock in. I'm gonna lock in. Did I say that already? I'm here.
I don't think so. I also feel like I'm giggling a lot, so I'm gonna do my best to get through this today.
Bro, Caitlin had a stream before this. That's probably where it started for me.
I know. I had a wild stream right before this. So, again, yes, hi everyone. Today we're covering Hard Eyes. Cassie, is this the newest film that we've I'm kidding.
Like, oh my god, how do I answer it normal?
So this is a 2025 horror comedy film. Yes, this is a horror comedy. It is directed by a man named Josh Rubin, and it is written by three men, Philip Murphy, Christopher Landon, and Michael Kennedy. Now, Christopher Landon is a name you might recognize.
Yeah.
He was a writer on We Have a Ghost, Happy Death Day to You, and all but the first Paranormal Activity. He was also set to direct Scream 7 before all that shit went down, and then he backed out. So, yeah, that's another place where people might recognize him from.
Interesting.
Yes. So he's got a resume, this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie was filmed in New Zealand, which I was surprised by, on a budget of 18 million, and it grossed around 32. So it wasn't like a huge, crazy blockbuster sort of vibe, but it's out on streaming now, which I'm sure is gonna help it a lot, just, you know, in this day and age of streaming.
Yeah, of course.
But aside from that, there's really not much else background on this film that is really all that interesting. It's just like, yeah, they wrote a script and they filmed a movie.
Okay.
It's really exciting. So let's get into it. The film opens up with the song Amazed by Lone Star. If you don't recognize it by the title, you would recognize it if it were played for you. It's a very romantic, lovey-dovey song. And the camera pans over a beautiful vineyard at sunset. The sky is shades of light pink and blue. It's just gorgeous. And we come upon a couple standing face to face, holding hands in front of a wildly overdone floral arch setup. There's rose petals on the ground. It's very pretty. Adeline, the woman, says to Patrick, the man, "This is going to be the best Valentine's Day ever." And they're super over the top, gushy, lovey-dovey. But the next shot we get of the couple is from the point of view of somebody concealed in the bushes. Somebody's watching. Patrick whips out a strawberry from, honestly, God only knows where, and feeds it to Adeline, who gives us some dramatic mms as she takes a big bite of the strawberry. She savors it in her mouth for a moment before her face goes blank, and she lets out a "what the hell?" as she spits the strawberry back into her hand. Patrick gets down on one knee, and Adeline says, "I told you not to put it in my food."
Ew, no. No, stop putting the ring in food. Stop doing it. Everybody stop.
I agree wholeheartedly. Like, you don't want her to choke on it either.
No.
You know? So Patrick's like, oh shit, I'm sorry. But Adeline urges him, just keep going. Just keep going. So Patrick reaches into her hand and he fishes through the chewed up strawberry to grab the ring that he'd put inside.
Lovely.
And they really emphasize the sound here. It's like squishy, ooey gooey, nasty. So Patrick begins his proposal. "You're smart. You're beautiful." And Adeline is mouthing along to this proposal as if Girly wrote this herself.
Oh, yikes.
And then he says, "And perhaps most of all, you make me think."
Oh, did you not do that before?
No, I don't think men do. I don't. If I could be so for real with you right now.
Girly, Girlie's been through it.
Listen, we had lore drop on stream yesterday, so I might make some comments today, and you're just gonna have to forgive me.
Yep.
Adeline says yes as Patrick slips the ring onto her finger, and she leans in for a kiss. They're interrupted by Patrick's ringtone, which I don't know what it is, but it's horribly annoying. It's like this weird techno, disgusting, horrible sound. Who's calling him? It's the man in the bushes. The photographer who had set up to capture the shot. But he tells Patrick that, well, he didn't get it. Oopsie. Gotta do it again. So they do.
Oh my god. Wait, how? How do you do that again?
Oh, they just gotta redo their proposal. It's fine. The photographer leans down to look through his camera lens, and from the point of view of the lens, we see a figure standing right in front of the camera with a machete that swings back and pierces right through the lens into the photographer's eye.
Ooh.
He falls back a lovely, lovely gash right through his face. And then we cut away. So we're back with Patrick and Adeline.
How far away is he in the bushes that they did not see or hear? Are we going to have another movie where nobody can hear anything?
Oh no, not the soundproofing again. So Patrick and Adeline are redoing their proposal all the way through before Patrick calls up the photographer to be like, yo, did you get it? But Adeline is so frustrated. She just snatches the phone from Patrick and she's pissed and she just starts going off on the guy. And she turns away from Patrick, starts to express her frustration. When we hear a whooshing sound, she turns back around to see Patrick with a red arrow straight through his forehead.
Okay. Arrow. That's like underutilized, I feel, in horror. Okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's choking and he goes cross-eyed before collapsing to the ground. Adeline screams and takes off running. She hides behind a car, but the suspect is catching up to her, so she runs again. We get a shot where the killer walks into frame, but we just see his hand holding one of these red arrows. It seems as though he like clicks a button or something because the arrow extends a few inches longer. Ooh. Very dramatic. You know, like, can you picture that? Like it's holding an arrow and it clicks it and then like the point of it just extends out a little bit farther.
Yep.
So it's kind of like somewhere between an arrow and also like you could stab somebody with it and then like send it into their body. I don't know.
Interesting. Is this like, have you ever seen this in real life? Is this just a movie thing?
I think it's just a movie thing.
Okay, cool.
I think this is just a fancy, fun little weapon.
Love.
So Adeline is running through the vineyard when she trips and falls. She hits the ground and her phone rings. The caller ID reads, Babes, with a picture of her and Patrick. She picks up to just breathing on the other line. But this doesn't stop her from letting whoever this is know how she is feeling right now.
Girlie needed those engagement photos.
You listen here, asshole. I have been planning this day my whole life, and you fucking killed him. You messed with the wrong bride. But as she's scolding him on the phone, she gets shot in the foot with an arrow.
Oh.
She screams and screams some more and screams a little more as she slowly gets up and begins to limp run toward what looks like some sort of barn or shack on the vineyard property. She runs inside, the killer walking at a fast pace behind her. As she's making her way through this building, she runs directly into a security guard. And he's confused as to what's happening. Like, you're not supposed to be here. What are you doing? What's going on? And she's like frantically screaming at him, like, he's trying to kill me. Like, it's very, very chaotic. The door opens and a silhouette appears in the doorway. The killer reaches into his long black cloak and pulls out a little silver knife with a cute little heart carved into the handle.
Oh my god, he has so many different weapons.
He's really stacked up in there.
Yeah.
He's got a lot. He flings the knife across the room and hits the guard square in the face, taking him out. Honestly, really good aim.
Not his first rodeo.
Oh, clearly not. Girlie screams and continues to run further into the building, and the killer's taking his sweet time, though. Waltzing in, gotta retrieve that knife. Too nice a knife to leave behind, of course. And we get a couple shots from within the mask of this killer. We seem to be looking through two heart-shaped eye holes. What? Nobody saw that coming. As we slowly creep around the building. Now, I'm sure most of you have seen the poster for this film at this point. The mask with the two glowing eyes shaped like hearts.
I definitely have seen the poster. No idea what it looks like. I don't know.
Okay, fair.
It's completely left my mind. But like hard eyes, yeah.
Is the
I
name
put
of the
that
film.
together.
Yeah.
Wait, which, by the way, can I just say,
Yeah.
the way I was confused that we were doing hard eyes today when it says that at the top of my screen right now.
It does say that, doesn't it? I did label the session hard eyes. So now we see Girly, right? And she's hidden in some kind of machine I've never seen before. I've never been to a vineyard. I don't know what they do there. It's like cylindrically shaped, and she's on the inside of it, but she can still see through it because there's slats in the middle of this cylindrical thing. It's cylindrical, like on its side though. Like as if you like could push it and it would roll, kind of vibes. She remains quiet and hidden while Heart Eyes walks by the machine. And she feels a little bit of relief, so she decides to let herself breathe again and then lean toward the little window door on the cylinder that she clearly must have climbed through. She begins to peer out when a hand reaches for her and grabs her by the neck. She struggles for a moment before being able to grab the little sliding door and crush the killer's hand, sliding it back and forth a few times.
Okay.
She even catches the tips of the fingers of his gloves as he pulls his hand out, catching the glove in the door. And Hard Eyes snatches his glove back before disappearing.
Don't fuck with his glove.
This is my freaking glove! Hard Eyes snatches his glove back before disappearing, and Adeline screams at him to go away. Well, he does. He goes away to a control panel where he begins to flick some buttons. And alarms begin to go off, lights are flashing, and the machine, which Adeline is now trapped inside of, begins to rumble. Now, both walls within this cylinder begin to slowly close in on Adeline.
Ew, no.
I know.
Oh, no.
She helplessly screams, knowing, yes, she's about to be completely crushed. And unfortunately for us, we do not cut away from this. Yeah. We get a nice shot from outside the machine through the little window where Adeline screams as the walls close in around her head, and her head explodes, blood and brain bits splattering the window from the inside, and like you can even see like her eyes like bulge out and like explode forward. It's pleasant.
So I would say she's dead.
I would say that's a fair assumption to make. The cylinder begins to rotate, and we see blood now making its way through a variety of machines as the liquids begin to flow. This is where we get our first good look at Hard Eyes. A killer dressed in all black, wearing a mask with two large hearts for eyes. We slowly push in on his face before cutting to black. And that is the opening of Hard Eyes. We have 3 deaths already.
4, right?
Who was the 4th one?
Patrick, Adeline, photographer, security guard.
I forgot about security guard. Holy crap.
That
4
was a
people
quick
are
one.
dead. That was really quick 4.
With the knife one, right?
Yep. Damn.
That's
crazy.
That's not looking good for a survivability score, just to start out.
Happy Valentine's Day by Outcast plays as we get our title card for Hard Eyes. We zoom into the title through a little heart tunnel to see a police car with Seattle written on the side. We get some slow-mo crime scene highlight shots as voiceovers from different news stories begin to play. There's text that pops up that says, "News alert! Heart Eyes Killer Terror on Valentine's Day." So through these voiceovers, we learn that a masked maniac named the Heart Eyes Killer has been killing couples on Valentine's Day the past 2 years. 2 years ago, he hit Boston. Not Boston. I know, I was devastated. He hit Boston and oh my god, wait, I forgot. And last year he hit Philly.
Spooky.
Boston and Philly, Cassie.
That's my boyfriend's town. Oh my god. Maybe it's him.
I'm going to call him up and I'm going to ask him, were you killing people? People are wondering where the HEK, as they also call him, may hit next. The message is clear though. Stay vigilant. this Valentine's Day.
Can we assume that that opener was on Valentine's Day? Was that supposed to be one of those cities, or was that supposed to be something different?
We don't know yet.
Okay,
We
because
don't
I'm
know
just
yet.
gonna say, if they planned an engagement on Valentine's Day, I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like I
Oh,
wouldn't
wait.
want to be engaged to on Valentine's Day.
That's valid. She also said this is going to be the best Valentine's Day ever. So, yes.
Oh, okay.
So it is. Yes, it is
Interesting
Valentine's Day.
choice. Maybe I
Yes.
should judge the killer more than the people
Yeah.
just trying to have a nice engagement.
The victim blaming is going crazy already.
Oopsie.
So now we open up on a girl, played by Olivia Holt, waiting inside a coffee shop. She's on her phone, scrolling through photos, and she stops on a photo of a guy and a girl. She looks at this photo kind of sadly. It's giving the energy of looking at an ex you're definitely not over.
Mm.
The barista calls a caramel soy latte for Monica as another girl steps up to the counter to collect her coffee. She turns and looks at Olivia Holt's character and asks her why she looks so stressed. She says it's because Crystal just called an all hands meeting regarding Allie's campaign, which means she's fucked. So, yes, she is Allie. Monica, her best friend, tries to talk her down. It's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be fine. Even if you get fired, you'll be just fine. The barista interrupts, calling out a large ice blended Americano with oat milk, 2 honey, and 1 sugar. Allie walks to the counter to collect her coffee, but another hand reaches for the cup at the same time as her. It is Mason Gooding. I love him. You would know him from Scream 6 and 7.
Oh, okay. Wait,
He's
which?
he plays Chad.
Oh, of course, Chad.
Yes, he plays Chad
Got
in
it.
Scream, and he's a very lovable person. So
Yeah,
it's very fun that he's in this film.
amazing.
He asks Allie if she's sure that's for her, and she lets him know that of course it is, because no one else would order and all at the same time, she, Mason Gooding, and the barista repeats, large ice blended Americano with oat milk, 2 honey, and 1 sugar. They indeed did order the same drink.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness. You want to talk
That's
about
cool. Quite the drink. I could
that's
never. I'd be too embarrassed.
Oh my god, right?
Yeah.
I walk in and it's like, if it's too uncomfortable, I'm just like, "Can I have a coffee?" Yeah, just coffee's good. Whatever, however you do that usually is fine with me.
Whatever's easiest for you, I'll just order that.
That's probably one of the most overused things in my vocabulary is whatever's easier for you.
Yes,
Like,
it's bad.
literally everything I do is whatever's easier for you.
Mhm.
I'm so sorry for existing. Like, I'll back up. It's
Mhm.
my bad. But anyway, together they walk over to the counter where you can get all your little coffee accessories, your milk, your sugar, your straws, all of that stuff. And Mason Gooding, which I'm going to continue to refer to him as Mason Gooding for now, offers her a straw, and she refuses, saying she carries her own metal straw around because she can't stand paper straws, which mood. I don't know anybody that likes a paper straw.
Yeah. It's why if it didn't disintegrate like that, maybe, but it's rough. It's rough. First world problems, but I understand the metal straw.
So Allie picks up a sugar packet and accidentally drops it on the ground. The two of them reach down to grab it simultaneously and whack their heads together pretty
Oh.
damn hard. And he starts bleeding from his nose.
Oh my god.
It's so awkward that Allie throws some napkins at him and just runs out the door, not even getting the guy's name. She's just like,
Oh.
"Oh, bye, sorry, hot," and she's gone.
Valid. I'd run. I think I genuinely would run if I didn't. Like, it's
Oh
so
my
sorry.
god.
I'm out.
After she runs out, we can hear the TV in the shop. The news is on, and it's confirmed. The Heart Eyes killer is here in Seattle. 4 victims were discovered. Yes, at a winery.
Mm-hmm.
So there's your confirmation.
So interesting that they filmed in New Zealand, but this is supposed to be Seattle.
Right?
Like, I mean,
like
you wouldn't think that way.
Exactly. I don't like that's why I was so shocked afterward. I was like, New Zealand? Like,
Yeah.
that's so random. I don't know why. So now we cut to a conference room full of people watching the same news on a television. The woman at the front of the room sighs and says, "Well, this is quite a pickle." She's got a very southern accent, which I'm not going to attempt, and is very, very put together. You can tell immediately that this woman is a character.
Mm-hmm.
She turns to the room full of people and asks why no one had informed her that there was a maniac who'd been killing couples on Valentine's Day the last couple years, because now this campaign of theirs is effectively ruined. She looks right to Allie as she plays the commercial that they had prepared. This commercial opens with the text, "Till death do us part," as we
God.
see multiple examples of tragic love stories ending in blood and death before cutting to the end card, "Crystal Cane Jewelry." It is a truly terrible ad regardless of the circumstances. There's like a Titanic scene, and like it's just like people throwing red cloth to like symbolize blood and dying. So it's not a good ad.
I wouldn't say that it's the current events that are making this ad not okay. It's just bad. I'm sorry
No,
to tell you.
thank you. Thank you for confirming that for me, because I was just flabbergasted by this.
Yeah.
Apparently, the reviews for this ad are already pouring in as some what seem to be tweets, maybe, are read aloud. Wow, profiting off the death of couples to sell rings? And
Ooh,
this is disgusting, to name a couple.
scandal.
So Crystal, the name of her boss, that is her boss, goes off on Allie. You build a nationwide campaign built around romance ending in death? She's livid and she demands a new campaign be put together pronto. Crystal calls out to the hall, "Jay, get in here." And who walks in but Mason Gooding, who we now know is Jay Simmons.
Oh my god, it's giving fan fiction.
It's giving such strong fan fiction. The meet cute was crazy.
Yeah.
We now know that he is Jay Simmons, aka the former CCD of BMY New York. He's an impressive success known for his viral romantic campaigns, so he's being called in as some expert help in this very dire situation.
Yeah, we need some damage control.
Serious damage control. And Allie looks shook. She cannot believe that this man is here. Oh my god, the man that I bumped my head into earlier, and now he's going to be working with me. Well, this is just great. So we leave this conference room for a bit and find ourselves in the presence of two detectives in a cruiser. The female detective receives a notification on her phone that kind of sounds like a whistle, and the male detective asks her what the hell was that, and she says she got a match on a dating app.
Oh my god. Okay. Wait. Whoops. My brain immediately went to dating app before you clarified that it was from a dating app.
I
Like
mean, that's valid. I think that's fair.
good. I was like, wait, she is a detective. Maybe my brain shouldn't be going there right now. But the movie, it's lovey. It's lovey-dovey right now.
Exactly. These detectives arrive at a crime scene, and the female detective says, "We're going to get married. I can feel it," as she shows a photo of her match to the other detective, who is clearly sick and tired of this shit. He's over it. He glances at the photo asking, "Is that your boyfriend?" And she says, "He will be. He's an actual firefighter who loves puppies."
Oh.
Bro gives the most over-the-top dramatic gasp, and she rolls her eyes. She's like, "Oh, you say it's not so." Like, you know, every dude on dating apps has like puppies in their freaking
Yes.
profile because they
They
think
know what
that's
they're
it.
doing.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
that dog is cute, but you're not.
I know. Yeah.
So like,
It's a distraction tactic.
exactly. I love when the first picture, not me outing myself as a dating app user, but like the first picture on a dating profile will be of a dog, and I'm like, I don't need to scroll because I already know it's not going to be pretty down there. Respectfully.
Oh my god. Also, low-key, I'm shipping the detectives like for each other. They're cute.
They are giving cute energy.
Yeah.
So actually, he walks over to her and says, "You know what you need, Shaw? A real man. One who is willing to make the first move." He stands
Okay.
real close to her as he says this, and we cut away. It's kind of interesting.
I'm here for it.
We're in that barn slash shed slash building now, the scene of the crime from the opening of the film. And on the floor sits a wedding band. And Detective Hobbs, the male detective, carefully picks it up, and we learn that the initials JS are carved on the inside of the ring. We get a delightful shot of that cylindrical machine from earlier too, caked in blood and guts on the inside. We're getting a real nice look on in there now. It's just real yummy.
Oof.
So the head officer looks around and asks what kind of animal would do this. And Hobbs responds with, probably some incel virgin troll living in his mommy's basement, which, like, no, I feel like that's internet troll energy. I don't
That's
think
so true.
that's not giving murderer, that's just giving I'm on the internet and I have nothing better to do with my time. But if
Yeah.
I mean, that works too.
And half the time it's like just rage baiters, you know? And they
Mm,
don't even actually think that way. They just like making people mad.
so true.
But no, my immediate theory is just it's like a really basic theory, but you got to think that this killer obviously hasn't found love for themselves and has like it out for people who are in love. That's where
Mhm.
my brain would immediately go to. Wouldn't put it in those words. But yeah.
Uh-huh. So would you maybe put it in these words? Because
Oh god.
Shaw replies from inside the machine, by the way, she's in there.
Oh,
She says, assuming it is a man, and she's got a point. What about the girl who never got asked to prom? The love-scorned woman who got cheated on one too many times and just snapped. Her phone goes off again and she whips out her phone saying, yes, he replied, all smiley, while still sitting in the blood and guts, by the way.
wait, I love her.
Love her, queen.
Oh my god. Is it her? Oh my god, is it her? Wait, is this a who done it, or is it like gonna have a whole reveal at the end, like mask off
Yeah.
type of? Okay,
Yes,
okay.
those are the vibes. Those are
Love.
the vibes. The main officer asks how they can even know this is HEK before Shaw pulls out a photograph saying, this is the last thing the photographer ever saw. It's a blurry close-up of the HEK mask. They turn
Mm.
around to look at something we're just now seeing for the first time. Rose petals laid out on the ground in the shape of a heart with an actual human heart placed perfectly in the middle.
Oh my
Very
god.
cute.
That is cute. Like the killer has a heart.
Yeah.
We need more of
Yeah.
that.
Exactly. That's how I expected you to respond to that reveal. Um
Oh man.
So Allie's back at work and she's in a bathroom stall on her phone and we see her looking at yet another photo of that same couple from earlier. One of them again we feel is likely an ex. And we hear someone enter the bathroom and a male voice calls out, "Allie? It's Jay." Allie's like, why are you in the women's room? And what are you doing in here? And he's
Yeah.
just like, can we talk?
Uh,
So
hello. Can I wipe first? What the fuck?
can you wait a minute? So she comes out of the stall to talk to Jay and she apologizes for earlier and Jay's like, that's not necessary, it's fine. He actually lets her know that he booked them a table at a pretty fancy restaurant to work on the campaign later tonight. And Allie's
Oh.
like, you do realize it's Valentine's Day, right?
Mm.
And Jay's like, oh, right. You probably have plans already. She, of course, does not, which Jay is delighted to hear because this dinner out will be great for some field research for the campaign. She's not thrilled, but they will, in fact, be meeting at 8.
Oh my god. Do you do anything like on Valentine's? I've spent most of my life single. On Valentine's Day, sometimes I would just go get a piece of cheesecake from the Cheesecake Factory. And
I
it
love
was
that.
really no, it was so sad because I'd go in and it's just all couples everywhere and I'm like, "Hi, I'm here to pick up my one slice of cheesecake. Thank you so much."
That's such a mood. No, that is amazing. I don't think I've ever been in a relationship on Valentine's Day. So, yeah, I don't think I do anything, but my brother's birthday is Valentine's Day, so
Oh,
growing up,
yes.
we it was his birthday and that was really all that mattered.
Yeah,
So,
valid.
I've never done anything like for myself on Valentine's Day. It's just another day,
Yeah.
really. Maybe someday. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, man.
So now Monica and Allie, BFFs, are having drinks at what looks like a cutesy little rooftop bar. Allie is judging Monica for having a sugar daddy who's paying all of her debt. Monica insists that she loves him and his money.
Mm.
She also calls out Allie, saying she's one to talk while she's over there stalking her ex on her phone all the time. Fair enough.
Everyone's got their issues.
Uh-huh. Monica reminds her that Allie was the one who ended things, so she needs to just let it go. Monica suggests that she try things out with that guy from the coffee shop, the one that's from work, and Allie's like, yeah, not the guy trying to steal my job. Monica interrupts and asks her what she plans on wearing to dinner tonight, and Allie's basically like, what I'm wearing right now. Monica's like, no, no, no. Let's go. She whips out her credit card because, she's got her sugar daddy, so it's fine.
Yeah.
She's like, we're going to go. We're going to go. Before we leave, we hear the lovely little news jingle again, and the television tells us that there are now 2 more victims with the same signature killed at a spa this afternoon. Likely,
Oh.
again, the Hard Eyes Killer.
Oh, wait. Up until now, he only killed on Valentine's Day? That was the only pattern? Or is it just that he always kills on Valentine's Day and outside of that?
I think only on Valentine's Day is the vibe.
Interesting. And it's okay. So the people that were found at the beginning of the movie, that was on Valentine's Day, but also it's still Valentine's Day.
Yeah, this movie takes place all in one day.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
I actually love that. I really like setups like that where it's all one day. That's my fave.
I love that too. It's kind of great. So where do we go now? We have an outfit try-on montage.
Okay.
Classic rom-com vibes. So Allie tries on so many outfits that Monica hates, and she finally tries on a very businessy looking tan fit, which Monica shuts down completely. But Allie buys it anyway because it is definitely the most her fit that she tried on. It's just very plain and kind of boring, but that's kind of Allie. That's just who she is. She's just business, business, business. So she's off to her dinner date, whether, depending on how you look at it, with Jay.
Mhm.
At the hostess counter, she identifies herself as here for a reservation under Jay Simmons. The hostess is like, okay, awesome, great, as a security guard comes over and uses a metal detector.
My eyes just went wide. I literally whipped my head and looked at you like when you said security guard because I was like, oh no, he's gonna die. But there's no logic in that whatsoever. Just because the other security guy died does not mean this one is gonna die right now.
The panic in her eyes. What? A security guard.
Watch for the knife.
It comes flying out of nowhere. No context whatsoever.
Oh my god.
So this security guard, he pulls out a metal detector and he starts using it on Allie. And it's, the hostess is just like, well, Hard Eyes Killer is out, so, we're being extra cautious, which is fair.
Wow, yeah.
So as the security guard, he's waving the metal detector over Allie and it goes off over her purse.
Ooh.
And the guard asks her to open her bag. He pulls out the metal straw and looks at Allie.
Oh.
She just responds with, I'm environmentally conscious, and he seems to think it's safe to give her the straw back because, it's a straw, so she's fine to go.
Yeah.
Allie is seated at the table for what seems like a little while before Jay finally arrives, apologizing for being late. He informs her that he had no idea this place was going to be this nice, but, you look amazing, he says. She says thank you, and they stare into each other's eyes for a minute before the waiter interrupts and they snap out of it.
Okay, so the feeling is mutual, right? We're
So
getting that vibe.
We're getting the vibe that Jay's definitely into her, and
Yeah.
she's trying to not be into him,
Okay.
Like she doesn't want to be, but you can kind of see that she's kind of feeling it a little bit.
Yeah, we can work with that.
Mm-hmm. So Jay orders a bottle of champagne and then immediately starts asking Allie questions. Where are you from? Do you have siblings? Are your parents still together? She answers one-word responses, and she's giving the man in this situation. She's giving nothing. She's just like, yep, yeah, no, mm-hmm.
Yep.
He's really trying, and she's got literally nothing.
Oh, girly.
The champagne arrives at the table and Jay proposes a toast to love. But Allie just looks at him and downs the champagne in one gulp. And he's just like, okay. You know how when we're going back and forth telling these stories and all we can do is, okay.
Okay.
That is the energy of this man when she downs the champagne.
Listen, I don't know if I'd be toasting to love on a work meeting / date ? First date ?
Right.
It's a little strong, but
yeah, he's a little aggressive. It's valid.
Yeah.
So Allie finally just cuts to the chase saying, this is cute, but can we just cut whatever this is and skip to trying to save my job? And Jay's like, sure. Okay. So Allie pulls out her phone and her little notebook and she starts going into some ideas she has before Jay cuts her off saying, you've had your heart broken recently.
Okay, so are you trying to be like, I'm intuitive, like I can read you? Because that's not what you should be reading, because why would we want to talk about that?
Right? Right? So Allie has this kind of response. She just looks up like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah.
She goes, "No, I did not, and it's none of your business." And she tries to go back into her ideas again. She's just like trying to brush it off. Jay cuts her off again. It's just your campaign, the doomed lovers. It hardly screams romance to me. He's right about that.
Yeah, definitely.
He's not wrong. Allie gives in a little, saying the most romantic stories of all time are doomed. No matter what, it's all gonna end. It's just a matter of time before someone cheats, bails, or dies.
Okay, but that's not what brings in the sales.
Yeah, right? It's like, maybe you're speaking facts, maybe I relate to you, but
Yeah.
but that's not where we wanna put our brains for this campaign.
Right.
So Jay hits her back with, "Well, what about butterflies in your stomach? A lightning bolt to the heart, cozy Sundays in bed." He's the romantic and she's the cynic. It's
I do,
very
yeah,
stereotyped.
it's a stereotypical trope that does get me every time, I can't
I
lie.
know, I know, I know, I know. So Allie just keeps going on and on about how love isn't real. People get hurt. Boo-hoo romance, this and that. She even gets aggressive with Jay, wanting to know why he's even single. Are you really looking for love, or are you just another fake-ass hoe-hunting ankle cuff prick in a suit?
We're getting aggressive.
She got real aggressive over that one.
Oh my goodness. Maybe she's the killer.
Maybe.
She's really, really hating on love over here.
She is. It's true. Jay doesn't deserve this beating, but Allie doesn't care. And Jay honestly looks kind of hurt as he says, "You're right. Tonight was a bad idea." He gets
Oh,
up and he leaves.
okay. I hope she feels bad, right? Or is she just like, whatever?
So outside, Jay's walking away when Allie comes running behind him, apologizing.
Okay, good.
She's saying she had a bad day and is unfairly taking it all out on him. He insists that it's fine and that he's going to go back to his hotel and try to start working on the campaign, but he's interrupted as Allie grabs and embraces him in a kiss. It's very sweet and emo for a moment.
Oh, okay.
We hear a male voice say, "Allie?"
Oh my God. No, it's not. Her ex. Wait, I'm eating this movie up. The tea, the lore, the drama.
Oh my God, there's so much tea in this film.
Yeah.
Jay and Allie pull apart, and who do we see standing behind them? The couple that Allie has been obsessing over on her phone. Her ex, Colin, introduces them to his new girlfriend, Sienna, to which, of course, Allie introduces Jay as her new boyfriend.
Okay. You know what? I love that trope as well.
Me too. Honestly, that is a good one. This whole interaction is very awkward. It's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And Jay's finally like, "All right. So you guys going to dinner?" And Colin's like, "Yeah, it was supposed to be a double date, but unfortunately, the couple that we were going with got murdered." Whoops.
Oh.
So sad.
And they really shared that just right there.
They did.
I mean, not that that's something to hide, I guess, but just in this situation, it's like, oh.
No, it's funny because like Allie and Jay are like, "Oh, and you kept the reservation." And they're like, "Yeah, we're doing it in honor of them." And
Oh,
it's just
shut
like
up.
so awkward. So then they share a very uncomfortable goodbye and they go on their way. Allie and Jay jump into an Uber, and as the Uber drives away, we get a POV shot from the inside of the Heart Eyes mask watching them. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh no. I'm so curious about like what is the method to the madness? You know what I mean? Like, why are we being watched right now? I actually the mystery element of a whodunit is my favorite part.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I love a whodunit so much. So this is our first score check-in for the day.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking at what I wrote down and I fear I might need to change it. I'm like, wait, a girly, who do you think you are? No.
Man, I mean, the weight of this first one obviously goes in that opener. Oh, God, like in a vineyard, you can. I don't know. I don't know if the car was nearby. If I could have had a chance to get to my car and drive away.
Mhm.
With the knowledge that I have, I'm gonna give myself a 24%.
Whoa! Whoa! I originally had a 78.
Oh my God.
I had to back up and reevaluate my life.
Oh my God. You're confident. You're just confident.
Way too confident. No, I just changed it to a 53, and I feel like the thing is, that's
Wait.
What?
Sorry. I'm taking
No.
it back. Oh, I'm
Okay, go.
raising mine because I have a valid reason.
Okay.
I would never get engaged to in public.
Mm.
That's my worst nightmare. I hate like attention in that way. I hate like people perceiving me being in love. Like I'm not
Mhm.
going to have a wedding. I don't want a wedding. I don't want to be engaged to
Mm.
in public. I don't like that. So honestly, I wouldn't be in that situation in the beginning.
Okay.
But if I was, right?
Right.
I'm going to just bump it up to a 44%.
Yeah. I was like thinking between 40 and 50 cuz you also have to like the security guard like got a knife to the brain chucked across the room.
Yeah.
The
Just
photographer
can't see it coming.
machete came right through the lens. The guy got shot with an arrow in the head. The only one that I feel like I would have definitely done better is the girl, just because I feel like she just kind of did some dumb things and whatever. But the other three really didn't have much opportunity to escape or anything. They were one
Exactly.
shots. They were like a singular shot.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Yeah, so that makes sense. I think we're both at a spot that makes sense for the beginning.
yeah. So the Uber pulls up to Allie's house, where she again apologizes to Jay for the hectic night before getting out. She goes to head into her building, but damn, she seems to have lost her keys. Jay notices this and gets out of the Uber to go see if she needs help, but she tells the driver, just, keep the meter running. I'll be right back. Allie says she must have left her keys in a dressing room somewhere earlier, but it's fine because, she'll just break the lobby door glass and go inside.
Okay.
And Jay's like, no, you're not gonna do that. I'll do it. So
Oh. Okay.
So he grabs like a handkerchief and barely wraps it around his hand and he punches the window. It breaks super easy and he goes, "Oh, not so bad," before immediately holding up his blood-soaked hand saying, "Well, that's bad."
Why are we doing this? Why like so many other options before this one?
I feel like there had to be so many other like it's an apartment building. Somebody's
Yeah.
gonna come in or go out, or we could knock on a window. Like there are options. But no, we're gonna just break the glass.
Okay.
Allie, of course, is like, well, shit, your hand. So they both go up to Allie's apartment and they sit on Allie's bed trying to clean up Jay's hand. Allie has out the tweezers and she's trying to pull some glass remnants from
Ooh,
Jay's skin.
I
Yeah,
hate that. I hate that.
it's icky. It's not fun. And they're kind of being cute and flirty. And Allie's hair falls in front of her face while she's working on Jay's hand, and she asks him to push it back for her, like, just the cutesy, flirty stuff.
Mhm.
So Allie fixes up Jay's hand the best she can when she notices that a toy of hers is
Oh
sitting
no.
on her bedside. And she's like, we get a nice close up.
This
She's like,
movie is all tropes, and
oh,
I'm
it's
here for
so
it.
good. It's so good. It's like listen, this is a horror comedy, but it is very much comedy romance more so than horror. I'm just gonna tell you that right now. She's actually like pretty smooth about this, like making her way over to the bedside table. They're just like bantering, and she grabs the toy, and she hides it behind her back, and she like backs up to the closet because she wants to hide it.
Okay, so he didn't see it.
He hasn't seen it.
Okay.
She's trying to hide it. So she goes like she backs to the closet and she opens.
No, she's gonna drop it. She's gonna drop it and he's gonna see. And we're gonna stare at each other and it's gonna be weird.
So she opens the closet to see Heart Eyes chilling in there and waiting for her.
Help, what? We're there already?
Yes! Allie lets out a scream and chucks the toy right at Heart Eye's face and slams the closet door shut.
She closed the door on him?
Curly literally goes, screams, chucks it, and just slams the door. And
okay.
So Heart Eyes is like, what the fuck? So Heart Eyes bursts out of the closet and starts firing some arrows as Allie and Jay are screaming and dodging and everything. And Jay gets up, attacks Heart Eyes. What? I'm sorry, I'm reading my the number of typos in my scripts is crazy. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Oh my god. The do what? It was incredible.
I'm so sorry, everybody. Don't mind me. Jay attacks Hard Eyes, and Allie grabs a layup that she smashes on the back of Hard Eyes' head. We get a close-up here of... Oh my god. We get a close-up here of the toy on the ground. It's on now. It's vibrating. It's doing a little dance on the floor.
Oh no.
And we just sit on that for a second. I'm like, oh, this is great. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So Allie and Jay run out of the bedroom while Hard Eyes is kind of like on the floor, and they close the door behind them and they like tie it shut with a belt. Don't ask how. Like there's like pipes and they just like tie it shut.
Okay.
They get it all tied up tight, and then they just stand there.
Okay, yeah, that's what I would do for sure.
Right. So they just stand there and they're like, yay, we did it. Cool.
Oh, God.
They're so chill until a knife comes piercing through the door. And it's like, oh yeah, right. We should go.
We should run from the killer.
We should get out of here. So they run outside back to the Uber guy who's still just chilling outside. But Hard Eyes is right behind them and shoots an arrow right through the head of the driver. R.I.P. Mr. Uber driver.
Oh, man. I didn't even know he was still waiting out there.
I know. Bro, like, got a lot of patience because I don't know why he would wait for them. So Allie turns around and tries to reason with the guy.
Okay.
She's like, you've got the wrong people. We're not a couple. You only kill couples. We don't know each other.
You know what? I was thinking, I'm like, listen, you gotta be better with your research, buddy, because if you're going to be the one that kills all these happy couples, at least be sure that it's a happy couple.
Precisely. But while Allie is, doing this whole reasoning thing, Jay's like, hey, let's go. Like, let's just... What if we left and we didn't try to talk to the killer?
Kept running. Maybe we might get away if we do that. Are we going to get away if we try to rationalize with this man right now? No.
Probably not. So Jay whips out his phone and tries to call 911, but Hard Eyes shoots the phone right out of his hand.
Okay.
Because, that aim be crazy. So they take off running again. And they keep running until they come upon some kind of greenhouse or something. It's in a public park. It's very dark, very hard to see. Mm-hmm. And Jay tells Allie to stop. He heard something.
Well, maybe it's the killer that's running after you.
Listen, you would think that would be the obvious solution. The two of them pause in the silence. When Hard Eyes jumps out, grabbing Allie and attacking her.
Yeah.
What did you think it was, Jay? What's that?
He was trying to be all high and mighty, let's run. And then he said, now we can stop. Now we can stop and wait.
I heard the killer chasing us. Maybe we should stop and listen. Jay grabs a traffic cone and whacks Hard Eyes in the back of the head.
Okay.
But Hard Eyes is like, okay, whatever. He begins swinging his knife at Jay before kicking him to the ground, where Jay hits his head real hard on the ground and passes out.
Oh my God, his nose, his hand, now his head. It's been a day.
It really has. And so while Hard Eyes is preoccupied with Jay, Allie just takes off. She takes the opportunity to run. And of course, she happens upon a carousel. Very classic horror.
In the greenhouse?
In the park. I will say there is a carousel in my public park, so.
That's awesome. I've never seen a carousel in a park.
Yeah, we have them. We do have them here in good old Rhode Island, a couple of them actually.
That's cute.
I've never been on them, but they exist. So this is where Allie decides to hide. Literally on the carousel.
Where?
Just crouches behind a horse.
I was like, did she hop on a horse?
She just like freezes. He'll never see me.
Okay, behind like the little statues.
Yeah. She's just kind of like crouched behind a horse. So while she's hiding, Hard Eyes actually takes a little break on the swing. He sits there and he's just swinging. And I'm not gonna lie, it's creepy because like it's like that squeaky classic sound, and it's just, we talked about this. Was it last 2 episodes ago about like playgrounds being creepy?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Randomly, like Harry Potter came up.
I don't even remember why, but yeah.
No, a swing set is spooky.
Mm-hmm. So Allie looks away from him because she could see him like from her hiding spot, and she looks away for a second, and when she looks back, of course, he's disappeared. But the carousel, it suddenly whirs to life and begins to spin, playing some circus music, and
Okay, cute. It's their date now.
it is. That's cute. We love that. So Hard Eyes is turning that thing up to 11 as it starts spinning faster and faster and faster. And Allie's having a hard time keeping her balance, but then Hard Eyes appears behind her on the carousel, swinging a machete. And he just misses her, instead cutting off the head of the carousel horse next to her.
What?
And yeah, it just like slices right through the head. The head comes off. Oh my god. Yeah, it's crazy. This scene's wild. They go at it a bit before Allie lands a kick right in Hard Eyes' chest. He goes flying off the carousel and onto the ground, his knife flying into the air and implanting itself into the ground next to him. Allie decides, all right, it's time. She makes a dive off of the carousel. Heart Eyes gets up, grabs a machete, and walks toward her as she tries to crawl away. I'm guessing she's very dizzy because she can't seem to like stand up. She's like really struggling.
Sure.
And Heart Eyes makes his way over to her, stands above her, holds the machete above his head, and prepares to swing when a police car pulls up. Heart Eyes looks up, sees the cop car. We get a shot of Allie's face, and we go back to Heart Eyes, but no, he's gone. Disappeared, of course. So the cops come running over to Allie, and she's saying he was just here, right here, before panicking and remembering Jay. Allie runs over to an officer and kind of starts word vomiting. She's like, where's Jay? I was with him. We were together all night. We got attacked. Like, where's Jay? And the police is kind of like, I don't know what are you talking about? Like, I don't what are you talking about? And on the police radio.
Wait, are these like regular police officers? These aren't the detectives that we know?
Yes.
Okay.
Right now, they're regular police, yes.
Okay.
So on the police radio, we hear a voice come through saying, officers, stand down. We have Heart Eyes.
I'm sorry, you don't.
Actually, no.
Yeah.
The officers begin to celebrate as Allie just stands there in disbelief. The detectives are now here, and they come over to Allie and introduce themselves as Zeke Hobbs and Janine Shaw. Allie looks confused as she asks, Hobbs and Shaw?
Hold on. Janine Shaw?
Mm-hmm.
That's so interesting. Wait, did you... Okay, in the opening scene, there was a ring.
Yes.
That ring was from the victim.
Likely the killer, because they were just engaged. So it was a wedding band.
Yes. And it had the initials JS.
JS.
That's all I'm going to say right now. Janine Shaw. Is there... I'm reaching. Okay, I think I'm reaching. I'm just going to keep that in the back of my head.
Or you're not, or you're not at all. Again, we have Zeke Hobbs and Janine Shaw. And Allie, she looks so confused. And she's like, Hobbs and Shaw? Like the movie? The detectives have no idea what she's talking about. And neither do I at this point. It's a Fast and Furious movie, I guess. And the actress who plays Shaw is also in those films. So it's like a joke. But I'm pretty sure most people are not going to get that. Like, I feel like the genre crossover there is just like not really...
True. I don't think there's a lot of crossover for sure. Yeah, I've never seen... It's not my type of movie, Fast and Furious.
That is like the bottom of movies I want to watch.
Yeah. Like straight action is not... I can't.
Exactly. So I had to look this up because I was like, I don't understand the joke. Like Hobbs and Shaw. I assumed it was like famous detectives, at least, that like it was making a joke about famous detectives named Hobbs and Shaw. I was like, no, it's two characters from Fast and Furious. I was like, okay.
So random.
Allie suddenly notices Jay sitting in the back of a police car. She runs to him, asking him through the glass if he's okay. Jay is kind of... Again, this is a comedy, so you just gotta imagine the energy here. Jay's just shaking his head like, nope. no, I am not okay. And oh, by the way, thanks for leaving me back there with hard eyes. That was great. Allie's like, no, I didn't ditch you. I was being chased by a fucking serial killer. To which Jay replies, I know, I too was being chased by a fucking serial killer. Allie insists that he was capable of defending himself as a tall, ripped man, but she had to run. Jay has a little outburst of, Allie, I really appreciate the compliments, especially coming from you, but right now is not the time, okay? These muscles were not made for violence. They were made for cuddling. Allie's like, okay, Jay. Okay, Jay.
Whose side are you on here?
If I were Allie, I would have run.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be so for real.
And I don't think I'd be mad at someone for running in a situation like that, especially like specifically when we are just meeting each other, like as of literally today.
Right. I get why Jay's upset, but if I were her, I would have run too, because he is a man. He's a muscular man, and I am a small woman. Like, I don't know if you know who Olivia Holt is, but she's like a tiny woman.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah, like, I don't blame her. I really don't.
Nah.
So Allie leaves and turns back to the detectives, letting them know it wasn't Jay. They'd been together all night. Hobbs interrupts her, saying, ma'am, we found this man in the parking lot wearing this. And he holds up the hard eyes mask.
They found Jay wearing that?
Yes.
All right.
Allie refuses to believe this. Could be possible, but then Shaw turns on her, saying, well, maybe Jay wasn't acting alone. The detectives get in the car and drive off with Jay in the back seat. So, at the station, Hobbs and Shaw are now questioning Jay. Hobbs presents Jay with the wedding ring and points out the initials, JS, carved on the inside. Jay, of course, thinks this is ridiculous because, 1, he's not married, and 2, why would anyone carve their own initials inside of their own wedding ring? He gets snarky with Hobbs, and Shaw tells Hobbs just go for a walk, cool off. Allie's throwing a bit of a fit in the waiting room, giving the officer at the front desk a hard time, saying, it's not Jay, like, it's not him, you need to know, you need to see this, I need to know what's going on back there. And we get a mini jump scare from the IT guy who's been, like, working under the desk the whole time and just decides to pop up and say hello. Like, thanks, buddy.
Classic.
So, classic. The officer at the front finally gives in to Allie's nagging and agrees to go see what's going on with Jay in the back. When she leaves the room, the IT guy, David, speaks up and asks Allie if they know each other, and she's like, I don't think so. He's like, can I shoot my shot? Can I take you out to coffee?
Oh my God, this girl cannot escape love.
I know. Everybody just is all over her. Allie's like, honestly, bud, I almost got murdered tonight. Now it's just like not the time for this. And he respectfully backs off and leaves Allie.
Why can they never read the room?
I know. She's in a police station like right now. Like, she's clearly not in the mood for that. So in the back, Shaw is still in the midst of an interview with Jay. She asks him, were you in Boston in February of 23 and Philadelphia in February of 24? This actually catches Jay off guard. He pauses. Shaw steps in. Let me rephrase. You were in Boston and Philly. Same dates and locations as HEK's 2 prior killing sprees. Jay jumps in with his excuses. He's a freelancer, so he travels for work, sure. Shaw isn't buying it. She presses. She leans into him, her shirt strategically unbuttoned. How do you let off steam while you're on the road, Jay? She asks. They're interrupted by the officer from the front desk coming into the room. She wants to report to Shaw that they have an HWW in the lobby. What should she do about that? Jay's like, HWW? And they both respond with, hysterical white woman? We have a hysterical white woman on our hands. What do we do about that? I want to use that one from now on.
Love.
So again, Allie remains in the waiting room alone, and she's pacing about when a closet door clicks, and she turns to look at it. It's open a few inches. It wasn't open before. Did it open itself? She calls out a hello, because of course she does, because this is a horror movie, and we have, I don't know, has there ever been a horror movie where someone doesn't call out hello? Like, I swear, every single film.
I need to keep tabs on that now.
I know.
Because I agree.
She moves slowly toward the closet, but before checking behind the door, she grabs an American flag on a pole as a defense weapon.
Oh.
And just as she's about to open the closet door, the front desk officer and Shaw arrive back in the lobby, jump scaring us and Allie. They see her standing there with the American flag and are like, what are you doing? And she just responds with, bless the USA. And the front desk officer looks at Shaw and says, I told you.
So, like, what I would have done is said, "I thought I heard something in the closet," but
Right? Right?
also
God bless the USA.
it's so funny her being like, "Hello," into a closet.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you're, like, walking around a house and you're like, "Oh my god, is someone in this house?" Like, if there's someone in the closet and you have to say hello, maybe just back away. Start
Right?
backing away
So,
slowly.
in all seriousness, if I think somebody's hiding in a closet and
Yeah.
I'm in a room that I can literally walk out of at any time,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna do that instead of grabbing an American flag and heading on in. There's just decisions that I wouldn't make, and that is one of them.
Exactly.
So Allie asks Shaw, are you guys gonna let Jay go? And of course she says no, and Allie's in disbelief. But Shaw asks a solid question here. Why would the HEK be going after him? You guys aren't even dating, right? And Allie's like, right, but maybe he saw us kiss, but it was just a kiss to make my ex jealous, like it was nothing.
Mhm.
And as they're talking, the lights in the station go out. Allie gasps, but Shaw pulls out a flashlight. It's like, I'll check the breaker. It's fine.
What do you mean it's fine? Do you not know what's been going on? It's not fine.
This is chill. Everybody calm down. It's totally fine. Well, no, right? Because Allie goes, that's what people say before they get stabbed to death. To
Mhm.
which Shaw replies, how would you know that? Which is a great response to that question.
Yeah.
Shaw leaves to check the breaker and tells front desk officer to watch her. The woman begins to walk away, and Allie's like, no, 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 don't leave me alone. She told you to watch me. And she's like, calm down. I'm grabbing a flashlight. Like, chill. She heads to the closet to get the flashlight. Allie panics and tells her, don't go in there, but she ignores her. She walks in, grabs the flashlight, turns it on, looks around and says, no killers in here, as she walks back out. When she closes the door to the closet, Hard Eyes stands behind her with the American flag and
Oh,
pierces it right through the front desk officer. He holds her up on the end of the pole and flings her across the room.
okay, so I need to reimagine what this frickin' American flag looks like in my head because I did not realize could take out a whole human.
This is a pretty big pole with a nice
Yeah.
pointy tip that
Oh my
just
gosh.
pierced by Murica, I
What
suppose.
a way to go.
Right? Allie screams and reaches for the flashlight that this woman had dropped, but Hard Eyes stomps on it before she can. We're in complete darkness until Hard Eyes decides for the first time to light up his eyes, and they just come on glowing red. And you just see like two glowing red hearts in the dark. It looks so good.
So girly pop.
This is gonna be big this Halloween. I'm predicting that. Like this mask in particular.
Oh yeah, I bet. That would be a cool mask.
For sure. Like, I kind of want one, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
In a POV shot that we get from within the mask, we realize that this glow, this red glow, it's also serving as like night vision, but instead of being green, it's red.
Cool.
So the lights around the station begin flickering, and Allie runs through the building being chased. She runs right into Shaw, who asks her what the hell is going on. Hard Eyes rounds the corner, and Shaw tells Allie, keep running. She draws her gun out on Hard Eyes as we cut to Hobbs and Jay in the interrogation room. We hear gunshots ring out and Shaw scream. Hobbs leaves the room now to see what happened, but Jay's left in the room, handcuffed to the table, so he can't go
Oh
anywhere.
my god. I was scarred by have you seen Titanic?
In pieces.
Okay, there's a moment in Titanic that scarred me as a child, and I was just like always scared that I would somehow find myself in a situation where I was going to be handcuffed on a sinking ship.
Ooh.
And it's
Ooh.
giving that energy. Like that's actually so scary being handcuffed or whatever it is, like stuck and you can't go anywhere. Like,
Right.
oh, when stuff is happening, ew.
Yeah, that's freaky. I don't like that. And the thought of that with like the Titanic,
Yeah.
ooh, ew, I hate that so much. So Hobbs tiptoes down the flickering hallway, calling for Shaw, gun drawn, and he turns down a new hall and finds himself face to face with Hard Eyes. They share a nice moment, just staring into one another's eyes, before Hard Eyes finally takes the first move and stabs Hobbs in the crotch.
Oh,
Now,
maybe a woman?
right? When he pulls the machete back, He does it in this, like, slow way, and we hear, like, the blade slicing, and we get a shot from behind just, like, slicing right through his crotch. It's so awful.
Ow, ow, ow. I
I
don't
know.
know, but ow, you
Literally,
know?
right? I don't know, but I also don't think I would like that. Yeah.
No, it doesn't sound pleasant.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Hobbs
Okay.
obviously, screams out in pain before Hard Eyes then slices him across the face.
Okay.
Allie makes her way through the dark and lets herself into a random room. She realizes she let herself into the room next to Jay's because she can see him through the glass, but he can't see her. So it's like that
Oh,
one-way glass.
interesting.
And she calls out to him and he calls back, "You've got to find the keys." He's still handcuffed to the table, of course, and he wants to get out. Next thing we know, the interrogation room door opens and Hard Eyes waltzes right in. He puts the tip of his machete on the table and drags it along as he walks towards Jay, like the classic horrible screeching sound because it's like a metal table, machete. Hate that sound.
Yeah.
Hard Eyes begins to attack Jay, and Jay does his best to dodge around the table while still being handcuffed to it. The sound of glass breaking stops them both in their tracks. Then a gunshot. The glass between the two rooms is beginning to give before a third shot brings it all down.
Okay.
Allie stands on the other side holding a gun. She begins to shoot at Heart Eyes. Probably, honest to God, about 15 shots, and Girly misses every single one of them as Heart Eyes escapes through the door.
It's not great. It's not great. I'm trying not to judge because I'm sure, it's hard aiming and you're scared, but also I think it's probably a small room and the target is right there. So,
yes. Period.
Trying not to judge, but I am.
It's the thing is, it's like in the gun, like it fires quickly. Like she can let off a bunch of shots really, really quickly, but she just like really misses.
How does
all of
not
them.
a single one?
Nope. Nope. Allie rushes over to unlock Jay's cuffs and then they sprint out of the station. Allie decides that the best course of action here is to run directly into the road in front of a moving vehicle, waving her arms and screaming for help. And Jay sees this and dives into the road to push her out of the way, and the car swerves around them. Good job, girl. Proud of you. She's like, "You saved my life."
Oh.
And he's like, "You saved mine."
Oh
and
my God.
They go to kiss when Hard Eyes like walks out of the police station. Allie yells, "We're not together!" And Jay goes, "Go kill somebody else!" But that ain't stopping Hard Eyes. They get up and they run again.
Like, this is making me want to get, just out of spite, give myself a 100% because I'm not stopping and kissing someone in the street after. We might have just killed someone. That car just swerved. Hope they're good. Also, the killer's definitely still after us. What are we doing?
Literally. This is great because they decide to run. Where do they run? To a drive-in. And they recognize that they really just led Hard Eyes to the worst place they possibly could on Valentine's Day.
So many dates.
Regardless, they run into the sea of parked cars in front of the drive-in screen. Of course, Hard Eyes waltzes in, kind of like, "Oh shit, yeah, this is great." And a couple people see him and wonder, is that the real guy? That's a crazy costume. Someone else says, "I don't like that." Me neither.
Mood, I guess.
People are muttering around him as he walks slowly through the crowd. Hard Eyes makes his way by one guy who directly says, "Hey," to him. Hard Eyes subtly stabs him, and the man slinks to the ground. Hard Eyes keeps walking. Meanwhile, Jay and Allie decide the best thing they can do is hop into the front and passenger seats of a random van. They just sit there, catch their breath when they hear some movement in the back of the van. They turn around and see a guy looking back at them from behind the last row of seats. He's shirtless. Allie goes, "Put a fucking shirt on. There's a killer after us."
So rude of this guy.
Yeah,
walking
like
around with his shirt off in this situation.
You jumped into his van. Girl, you're in his van.
What are you doing in your own van like that?
Wild. So then a woman then sits up, clearly also naked. Like, we know what's happening here. And Jay's like, "The Hard Eyes killer's out there. We gotta be quiet." And the couple's like, oh my God, that's so hot. We love role play. And
Help.
And they just start going at it again back there. And Jay and Allie just are like sitting in the front seat, just chilling while all of this is going on behind them. And
I think I'd ask for I'd be like, you know what would be really fun, you guys? You guys should do it while you give me the keys and I start driving us out of here.
Right. Like,
why are we just sitting here?
Why did we get in a van? Why did we do that? I don't understand, but they do. Jay and Allie just sit there, and Hard Eyes actually walks right by the windshield, the front of the car, and they just kind of like slink down and watch as he walks by. But he doesn't see them, so it's fine. And then Jay's like, let's just lay low for a minute. So they chill in the van, chatting about life, and this is where things get very deep and emotional. While the couple is having sex in the backseat.
Of course.
And they're being hunted by a killer. So Allie decides to go into her past a little bit. She tells Jay that she lied at dinner. Her parents are not still together. They'd had a beautiful relationship, but her dad passed away and her mom never recovered. Jay decides to share too. His parents fought all the time when he was a kid. So awesome. Explains why these characters are the way that they are, but there is also a killer out there and I don't really care. So yeah. While all this is happening, the couple's still in the backseat. And while I write the scripts, I put the captions on. I don't watch movies with captions, but when I'm doing the scripts, I do because it's easier.
Yep.
There's a caption here that just in parentheses just says soft rhythmic slapping.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, oh, wow.
That's one way to describe it.
Thank you for describing it like that. I mean, they're not wrong. They didn't lie. Soft.
Romantic.
Very romantic back there. But then it gets really intense. And these two they're being loud. And Allie's like, guys, keep it down. Keep it down. There's a killer outside. But it's too late. The double doors to the back of the van are thrust open. And Hard Eyes stands
Not thrust.
on the I'm so sorry.
Girl.
My bad.
That had to have been on purpose.
I think it was definitely subconscious. That's what it was. Because it was not on purpose.
Amazing.
So the door, yes, it's thrust open. And Hard Eyes stands on the other side. And he grabs the man, lays him down on his back, and shoves the bow right through his open mouth and into his throat.
Ow.
The girl's like, she's sitting on top of him and she's continuing to scream. And Hard Eyes grabs like the back of her head and slams her mouth down on the other end of the bow that's sticking out of the guy's mouth.
Oh.
It pierces all the way through to the other side, like through her mouth, through her neck. It was like there's a straight up hole through that we can literally look through. And we like see Jay and Allie on the other side. It's so nasty.
That's a fun one. This movie does have some creative deaths.
It does. They're kind of fun. I won't lie.
Yeah.
So she falls dead outside the van where another girl's walking by with popcorn and she sees this, drops her popcorn and screams. That's a fair reaction.
Yeah.
This is where we cue the mass panic. So Hard Eyes is making his way through this panic crowd, killing literally anyone in his way. So like just walking by, just slice, stab, slice, stab. Bunch of people are just going down at this point.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. So number of deaths, we're not going to know. Allie and Jay are running away from the drive-in when Allie stops in her tracks. Jay's like, what are you doing? He's going to kill us. She responds with, and if he doesn't kill us, he's going to keep killing people. We brought him here. We end it here. Jay's hesitant, but he's like, okay, sure. I guess this is what we're doing now. Let's do this. So Please Don't Go by Cassie and the Sunshine Band plays as they hold hands and walk slow-mo back toward the drive-in while people run screaming behind them. Hard Eyes is toying with a couple in a car when we hear Allie yell out, "Hey, fuck eyes!" Hard Eyes looks over to see Allie and Jay, who's just giving him double middle fingers.
Do we have a weapon?
No. We can flip them off, though, so that's fine. They've really got him there.
Okay.
So Hard Eyes begins to make his way toward them when Jay stops, realizing they need a weapon.
Exactly.
Allie reaches into her bag and pulls out her straw. And Jay's like, No,
No.
that's not gonna do it. So they look over and realize that they're standing right next to the van from before, and they
Mhm.
know what they must do. We gotta pull the bow from the guy's throat.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's gonna be gross, but we can do it together.
Of course.
They both place their hands on the bow, and it's kind of like slow-mo. They, like, pull it out of the guy's throat, kind of like the sword from the stone kind of vibes. It's very, like, dramatic, and suddenly Hard Eyes appears, and they run. They end up in some hand-to-hand combat with the Hard Eyes killer, who takes down Jay.
Oh,
He leans over him when Allie comes running from behind and slams him over the head with some big, heavy object. I can't tell what it is. Blood begins to pour from the eye holes of the mask, but Hard Eyes pulls a bit of a fast one and quickly turns on Allie. Jay has to think fast now. He grabs the machete on the ground and stabs it through Hard Eyes' back, spraying Allie with blood. Hard Eyes falls to the ground. Allie lets out a, "Thanks a lot, Jay."
okay.
And of course, he's like, "What? What happened?" She goes, "You got it in my mouth. I think I'm going to be sick." She then throws up all over
Ah.
Heart Eyes, whose
Oh,
body is laying still on the ground. It's time.
unmask.
They reach down. They remove the mask to see some man that they do not know.
Oh, man. It's a stranger's thing, they just killed someone, an innocent person? Or is it 2 people and, like, the important one we haven't discovered yet?
The theories. This is also our second score check-in.
Oh my god. This felt like a 3rd frickin' act.
So I'm going to just tell you right now, our third act is super short.
Okay.
So this is in there. You'll see why.
Okay. The Uber driver was part of this section.
Yeah, this section's like the bulk of all the chaos.
And, like, the van people, a lot of them are just, like, innocent bystanders that are dying. It's not
Right.
even that, like, the targets are, dead yet. I mean,
Right.
as an innocent bystander, what can you do? Like, I'm dead.
Mm-hmm.
It happened so fast. And then as them, we would be making better decisions, I think.
Yes.
So, I think I actually think I feel pretty similar to the first act. I'm going to bring it down a little bit just because, like, the possibility of being like an innocent bystander is more likely in these different locations.
Right.
So I'm gonna go 33.
33.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That seems fair. I went 48, which is still lower than my first one. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Cause yeah, like it's just again, like the way he's like walking through the crowd and he's just like slicing anybody that walks by.
Yeah.
It's funny because the frustrating thing about this is when you look at the two main characters who are still alive, all their
Mm.
decisions have been the most dumb. Where I'm like, I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have done anything they did, but they're still alive, so they don't count. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like innocent bystanders that are getting killed.
Yeah.
So here we go. We cut to a little while later, and the cops have arrived. Allie and Jay sit on the back of an ambulance with blankets, classic scene from these kinds of movies. And Jay is like, "So you want to get to work on that campaign we're supposed to get done? We can order some food. It'll be great." Allie sighs and says, "I can't." Shaw pulls up now, and she's got a sling on her arm, and she comes up to the two of them asking if they're all right.
Oh my god,
And
Shaw. Speaking of Shaw, Hobbs is dead.
Hobbs is dead.
Another shout out for the last act.
Oh, true that. True that. Yeah, he got the slice through the crotch. Ugh.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she asks him, she asked them if either of them, need a ride home. And Jay actually takes her up on it. But before he gets in the car with her, he turns back to Allie and asks, "Work call later?" She nods and says, "Sounds like a plan." He then writes down his number on her coffee cup and drapes the blanket he was wearing around her shoulders before turning to leave.
The way he's like just snapping back into romance mode is like kind of making me suspicious, but also I'm like, okay, this is like a horror comedy, so I feel like
Mm-hmm.
I can't put too much suspicion on situations like that because
Right.
the characters are going to snap back in a genre like this.
Exactly. No, that's fair. So a very emo love ballad begins to play as Allie watches Jay drive off with Shaw, and Allie makes it back to her apartment. She's showered, she's got a black and white movie on the TV, and she honestly looks kind of sad. She's in her feelings, and we see some of her memories of the night with Jay flash through her mind. before her phone buzzes. It's Monica calling. She saw what happened on the news and she's like, "Oh my God, are you okay? What's going on? Like, are you good?" And Allie responds with, "No, I hate this feeling." And Monica's like, "What feeling?" And Allie says, "The feeling of liking someone."
Mm.
Girl, I mean, mood. Like,
Yeah.
like, you're not wrong. And she sighs and says, "I fucked up. I met a really great guy and now he's gone." So, truthfully, this part confused me a little because, like, I'm dramatic as all hell, but also, like, he just gave you his number and told you to call. Like,
Right.
why are you acting like he's gone?
I'm also confused. That's weird.
Yeah, I don't really understand why she's acting like it's over. Like, he does have to leave in the morning. I don't know if I ever said that. Like, he is leaving literally in the morning, but they're supposed to talk tonight. Like, I don't, like, I don't understand. She's so dramatic. Me too, but like, she's so dramatic.
Yeah.
Monica sees like this doesn't need to end, and she's like, "Girl, just go get him." And this was all the motivation she needed because she's off to go find Jay. I guess he's at the airport now, which
Oh.
I don't understand because he was just going to his hotel, but now he's at the airport. This part makes no sense. Do not blame me for this. This
Okay.
just
Okay.
doesn't make sense.
This is what's hard about the all in one day thing.
Right, exactly, because like there's no room.
Yeah.
So she goes to find Jay at the airport before he gets on the flight. Classic rom-com vibes also.
Yes.
And she's standing outside the airport when her phone buzzes with a call from an unknown caller.
Oh.
She picks it up, and on the other line, a distorted voice says, "Roses are red, violets are black. Guess who's with me and not coming back?" Allie asks who it is on the other line, and all she gets in return is, "We've met before. Forget me not," before we can hear Jay screaming in the background. "St. Valentine's Chapel," the voice says. "Come alone or he dies." So we're off to St. Valentine's Chapel.
I don't know how I feel about any of the people left being the killer. I'm so intrigued, like who it's going to be and how I'm going to feel about it.
Okay. No, I can't wait to be done with this so we can talk about that.
Yeah.
So we pull up outside what looks like a very abandoned chapel and head inside. We're greeted by what must be hundreds of lit candles. They really set this up. And Jay is tied up on the altar. The voice comes in. "They say love is blind, and lovers cannot see the pretty follies that they themselves commit." Hard Eyes peers around from behind Jay as he continues, "But love isn't blind." He reaches for his mask and pulls it off slowly to reveal the IT guy, David, from the police station. I know.
I didn't even write that man down.
I'll be honest, he has a wicked suspicious moment that I left out because it's like, I figured out it was him. I didn't want you to. So,
Yeah.
because
of that one moment that happened?
Just because he, like, his character didn't serve any purpose whatsoever.
Right.
It was like one of those characters that pops up and you're like, that guy didn't need to exist, so there's a reason why he exists.
Yeah.
That's why I figured that one out.
I guess I should have. I'm surprised I didn't like think that way even with the more limited version of information you gave me, because you're right about that. Like, that was so random. You're like, okay, there's an IT guy. Like, why is there an IT guy there? This isn't real life. Like, why are there computer issues tonight of all nights?
Right. If you watch this, you're gonna have to tell me, like, if, like, obviously you'll know now, but like, tell me if you think you would have figured it out, because I think anybody would. I really do. I feel like it's very, very obvious. Allie's like, "Huh? Who the fuck did we kill then? If you're here," and David's like, "Oh, Eli, stupid Eli." Allie asks if they were a couple, and David laughs, shaking his head. No. A throuple. We hear a female voice from the corner. "Love looks with eyes wide open, seeking what the heart desires the most. It's true compassion." It is Janine Shaw.
Okay. Yes. Weird.
Literally my reaction when I was watching this. I go, okay. So, she says she found her partner, David, 10 years ago in a chat room. They just got each other. She grabs his face and just starts full on licking it, like, up and down. And it's special. It really is. She tells Allie that They got married here and gestures to the St. Valentine statue behind her.
Cute.
You know, St. Valentine was beheaded, she says. Yeah, cool. Thanks for the information. They tell Allie that they just love killing. They love deceit. They
Okay.
love murder. It's their fetish. They just love it so much.
God.
And Shaw admits that she was the one hiding in Allie's closet. David was the one outside, though, who killed the driver and the couple at the winery. They love taking turns. Shaw's like, oh yeah, that reminds me. And she pulls out the ring they found at the winery and gives it back to David. The initials on the inside of the ring had, of course, been her own.
Like, why though?
Why what?
Why? I'm confused about like that ring. I got like the sense that it was a sign or like a clue of some sort. So that's why I like fixated on that.
Mm-hmm.
But why is her ring there?
So it was David's ring, David's wedding ring.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one who killed the couple.
So he just it was an accident that he left that behind.
It fell off of his hand. Yeah.
Got it.
So obviously her initials are inside because like, they're married.
Yes.
So Allie then asked the $1 million question. Why us? Well, Shaw and David were going to kill that other couple at the restaurant, aka Allie's ex. But they saw that kiss. Oh, they just couldn't help themselves. That chemistry was crazy. Shaw then gestures to a gun sitting on the ground near Allie's feet. She tells her to pick it up. Inside the gun, there is one bullet. She will either shoot herself or shoot Jay. If she loves Jay, well, of course, she'll shoot herself. Otherwise, she just won't mind killing him, right? Allie looks at Jay and delivers a little monologue as soft emo music begins to play. She says, I spent so long running from love, convinced it would destroy me. I don't want to be that person anymore. I want that storybook thing. It was just one single night, but I fell hard for you, Jay. She holds the gun to her head, and Jay begins to panic, begging her not to do it. David and Shaw laugh maniacally. Allie lets out a please forgive me before turning the gun on Jay and shooting him in the right shoulder. He collapses. David continues laughing, but Shaw is stood frozen. She grabs at her stomach as blood begins to pour out of her wound. Shaw falls into the table of candles, knocking it over, and David runs to her while Allie runs to Jay, who says, oh, you shot me. And Allie goes, sorry, I overcorrected. So I think she was not trying, like she was just trying to shoot Shaw, but she managed, her aim, I guess, is just that bad.
She got them both them both in one.
Because like Jay was like kneeling in front of Shaw, so it like went through his shoulder and into her stomach is the idea.
Damn, okay.
Yeah. Jay's like, well, that was a lucky fucking shot. And David stands back up and lets out a scream of frustration followed by a spray of bullets. Jay and Allie dive behind a church pew. Allie and Jay are quite weak at this point, so David comes up and drags Jay away while Shaw's left to deal with Allie, and she's excited for this kill. Allie and Shaw start going at it. Some good old-fashioned hand-to-hand combat. David can't help but watch his baby. He's so mesmerized by her.
Okay.
This gives Jay the opportunity to reach for one of the arrows that's hanging from David's pocket. David is going on about how perfect Shaw is when Jay holds up the arrow to the side of David's head. He says, you talk too much. And he pierces the arrow down through David's face. He angles it like from the side of his head down through the eye and like into the nose. Like it's like across his face. It's really nasty.
Yeah.
Also, side note, what is that from? You talk too much. I meant to look that up. If anybody wants to tell us on Discord, I know that like that's a famous line, right?
I don't know. I don't think, I mean, nothing comes up immediately.
Okay, so that's just an overused line is what it is then. I
think so. Yeah.
Gotcha. David screams in pain and falls into another table covered in candles. The candles pour hot wax all over his body. This catches Shaw's attention. She announces that she's going to kill them both before Allie comes flying across the room and into Shaw. Allie stabs Shaw in the throat with her metal straw. Oh, love hurts, bitch, she says.
Okay.
You knew the straw had to come into play.
Yeah, I actually, like, immediately I was like, that's got to come back. When you were, like, talking about the straw getting detected at that restaurant. But,
yep.
Do you think that's physically possible? If you like stab someone hard enough with a metal straw that it's gonna like
Yes.
go pierce through? Really?
I definitely think it would be.
Do you think you are strong enough to use it that way?
I'd be scared, so no. I
Yeah.
think honestly, I think with enough I don't know if I should say this. I might cut this out because it's like it's information I wish I didn't know. But they say that like if your brain wasn't in the way, you could bite off your own thumb easily.
I've heard that, but with ripping off your own ear.
Ooh. Yeah,
Yeah.
so like that's why I think like probably yes, I could if I needed to.
Interesting. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, they say like biting off your thumb would kind of like be like biting a carrot.
That easy is crazy.
I'm like, ew.
Because now I'm like, I kind of want to try.
I know. They're the intrusive thoughts that we were talking about the other day.
Yes.
This is one of them. Could I do it? Should I try to bite my thumb off? No, girl, you should not. Don't do that. Nobody do that, please. Shaw stands up. She's out of it because she's got a hole in her throat.
Mm-hmm.
In a moment of pure rage, Allie drives Shaw across the room. Like she just runs into her and she drives her into the knife that is in the hands of the Saint Valentine statue. The statue's like holding a knife straight out and she just drives her onto it. But the knife has gone squarely through her neck and her feet also can't touch the ground. So she's like hanging there by a knife through her throat.
Nice.
And she's struggling, of course. So slowly her head begins to separate from her body.
Oh my God.
Before she completely decapitates herself. And we get a shot of the Saint Valentine statue holding his own head because it's very symbolic.
Yeah, that is wild. No.
Yeah.
Again, the deaths in this movie are fun.
They're really good, I'm not gonna lie. So Allie looks right at the statue to say, your day fucking sucks. Allie goes over to Jay on the ground and they share a moment of relief before, in a very Scream-like fashion, David comes crawling out of nowhere toward them and Jay just raises the bow, one shot to the head, and now he's dead. But I was just like, oh, there's Scream right there.
Yeah.
We fade to black before we get a title card that says 1 year later.
Oh.
We're at the drive-in and Allie and Jay are sitting in a convertible. And Allie asks Jay, do you think it's weird to have a date here after everything that happened?
Actually, yes. That's the first thing that came to mind for me.
Literally. Because Jay's just like, nah. And I'm like, no, I would never go back there.
Yeah. Or any drive-in. I'd be too traumatized.
Right? They're crazy for that. Allie laughs, but she sees what's sitting in Jay's hand and she freezes. Jay has to encourage her to not freak out, stay calm. He holds up a ring box and says, Allie, this has been the best year of my life. He opens the box to reveal a key. Will you move in with me?
That's disgusting.
She looks at him and hesitates. She says, I don't know what to say. And Jay looks disappointed as he puts the box away. But Allie's like, no, I don't want a key. I want you. And she pulls out a ring box of her own and says, Jay Simmons, will you marry me?
Oh my God.
1,000,000 fucking times yes, he responds. You Can't Hurry Love begins to play as they kiss. We pan into the sky where we see two red heart eyes like in the stars. And we see the end. And yeah, that is the end. Yeah, no, exactly. Remember when I said I thought this was going to be an interesting episode?
Interesting is a word.
Yep.
To describe this. I think this might be, I'm trying to think. It might be our worst movie.
Yes.
Not worst episode. This was so fun. This is an example of like a bad movie that's fun on the podcast.
For sure. No, because here's the thing. Like, I recorded a reaction to this and I'm not sure it's going to be a great video either. And that's why when you like asked me how it went, I was like, oh, yeah. It's a fun movie. It's a cute movie, but it's so close to not being horror. Like the death, it's horror because it's gory. But otherwise it's more of like, it's not even a horror comedy. It's like a romance horror because it's very rom-com. And it's not a bad movie by any means. It just depends on who you are and what kind of stuff you enjoy in your horror films. Yes. And also I just feel like the reveal of like the killers was just like so bad. It was not very good. But it was still cutesy and fun. Also, Mason Gooding was in it, and I love him, so
True.
I was like low-key, his character is very easy to fall in love with in this movie too, so he's great. So yeah, what's your score check-in for the third here?
Okay,
so you're basically just accounting for the
like
chapel.
the church scene, yeah.
Yeah.
I would say, again, these are yappers. A lot of killers love to be yappers.
Absolutely.
It's 2-on-2, which I think is better than 1-on-1, honestly,
Absolutely.
like for me.
Just confidence-wise even.
Yeah, and so easy to push them in a candle, like
Yeah, right?
So I think I actually am gonna go up from the
Yeah.
second act.
Same.
I'm gonna say I would be like a 62.
Okay, I did 72. So
Okay.
valid.
Perfect. Yes. Calculations. Okay. I have mine. Mine is 46.
Mine's 58.
Okay.
So what is our total? It is 52. I feel like
Oh.
right smack dab in the middle is pretty good for this one because there's so many deaths, so much to consider. And it's a goofy movie.
Yeah, the goofiness is kind of what keeps us so alive because like it's not like we're dealing with super smart killers. And I feel like a lot of the time I find myself with a lower score if either the killer is, how do I say this? Like obviously very intelligent because then I'm like, oh, can I outwit someone? I don't know.
Right.
But also if they're like so unhinged to the point of like not caring about anything but the murder. And these people are like in love with each other, so that keeps them grounded in a way and keeps them sloppy in a way when it comes to murder, I feel like.
Right.
So
yeah, they're just like, it's our fetish and we love doing it.
Like that's a motive if I ever did hear one.
I do have a question for this though. Now, I just thought of this from a plot perspective.
Yeah.
This happens on Valentine's Day every year. She seems like an established detective in this town, does she not?
Yeah.
So how the heck was she like off killing other towns and now she's killing in her hometown?
And they're like, there's a whole team. Like, don't you think that her partner Hobbs would look at her and know that she's also been in those towns?
Yeah, right?
In the case that they're currently studying, like, would you not be like, that's weird, you were there too?
Right. Like, not to try and look for plot holes in a horror romance comedy, but like, I can't help it because we're kind of sitting here talking about it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't want to like shit on the movie because it's really not a bad film at all.
Yeah.
But it's also not my kind of horror movie.
Yeah, I'm also curious. Oh my God. Oh, okay, there's so much I want to say. I'm also curious about Eli. What was the vibe? Did they not care that the third of their throuple is dead?
Yeah, they didn't care at all.
Okay, so like it was more like they are the ones who really care about each other, and then the other guy was just there for kicks.
Oh, I forgot. He was a fan of theirs, and they just roped him in. He was like a fan of the Hard Eyes Killer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they roped him in and just kind of sacrificed him for shits and giggles.
Probably found him in a chat room, a murder chat room.
Right? Exactly.
And then what was the thing about the IT guy that you like left out that was super, do you remember?
So they're in the lobby of the police station and Allie says something to the extent of like, where is everybody? And before he like leaves, David stops and turns around and goes, out celebrating. They caught the Hard Eyes Killer. And it's just so like, why are we focusing on him and why is it so weird and why is it like, if you watch it, you'll see what I mean.
Yeah.
It's just like, why are you here? There's no reason.
Yeah.
Like at all. So I got him. I don't think I got Shaw if I remember correctly.
Well, yeah, no.
You did.
I kind of did, but that was the only reason I sussed her was because of the initials, which I probably wouldn't have put together if I was watching it as a movie. I'm paying more attention to that in a story.
I thought you might get it because you take notes because they only give like her name as Janine. Like they're very careful about giving you her JS.
Okay.
But I know you take notes. And I know you wrote down JS and Janine. And I was like, she's going to get it. She's going to get it.
That was like the only thing that I had. Like, there was no other reason for me to think it was her.
To be fair, like, that's all they gave you. Like, it's
Yeah.
not like she's sus otherwise. The only thing
Yeah.
that's sus is that she gets out of the police station. Also, tell me why I didn't put 2 and 2 together. She's the one who drives Jay home
Oh, okay. Oh,
at the end of the movie. Remember,
yes.
Jay gets in the car. Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave," and they leave together. How did I don't know why I didn't pick up on that,
Yeah.
because I feel like I should have. I don't know. I feel like that whole section's very confusing, though.
Yeah, it
Because
seems it.
it seems like suddenly it's, like, the next day, but it's not. It's a weird movie, but,
Yeah.
it was kind of cutesy and fun for this, I feel like,
Agreed.
because there was a lot of, like, survivability stuff I feel like we could talk
Yeah.
about, because a lot of death.
Are you coming around to like horror comedy as a, how do I say it? Like, are you enjoying it in the moment, or are you like getting into it because it's giving podcast vibes and you're enjoying that experience?
I think a lot of it is definitely with the podcast, because I think, like we talked about, horror comedies are really fun for this.
Yes.
And I think I can enjoy a horror comedy. I just think it doesn't work for me as a reaction thing,
Mm.
because I don't find the jokes funny. Like,
Yeah.
they're never my comedy style, so I just sit there and I'm like, "Okay." Whereas, like, if I was watching it by myself, I wouldn't feel pressure to like, not that I feel pressure to like it, but I feel pressure to give a reaction, and I'm not gonna fake laugh at something.
Yep.
So, I think that's where it is for me. It's like, I don't really wanna react to horror comedies, but I like watching them on my own.
That makes a lot of sense, because like
Mhm.
I would never, I very rarely, I think I've done a few rom-com reactions on YouTube,
Mhm.
but like I can't imagine just sitting down for a reaction with a straight comedy film. Like I'd be super uncomfortable and be like,
Yeah.
I'm going to be judged for what I do and don't laugh at.
Right, right.
So I can
Exactly.
see that playing a part in like the horror comedy genre,
Yeah.
especially like on YouTube for sure.
I like horror because I like being scared shitless.
Yes.
So, like, that's why I watch horror.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big comedy movie person. I like thriller, psychological, horror. So, and like, if you know me, which, like, I don't watch movies outside of horror. Like, I really
Yeah.
don't. So,
Well,
like, it
there's
makes
so
sense.
much. Like,
Yeah, I know,
it's one
right?
of my favorite, it is my favorite genre. And it's just so oversaturated. And I wish I had the time to just sit and watch them all.
I know. If only.
Yeah.
But anyway, I hope you guys like us rambling. This is probably another long episode of mine. I'm sorry. It happens. I don't shut up. As always, guys, thank you so much for listening. We appreciate having you guys here. And of course, if you want to check us out, you can check out our Instagram at I'd Survive Podcast. Over there, we have all of our links. And you can even go over to our Discord and let us know. Would you survive?